What's up, Chiefs Kingdom? Noah Gray here, tight end for the Kansas City Chiefs. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe to Josh's channel and check out showmefootball.com for more.
What is up, Chiefs Kingdom? Welcome back to another video on my channel. My name is Josh Fan of showmefootball.com and arrowheadaddict.com, covering your Kansas City Chiefs. And the question of the day today is, does Davante Adams make sense for the Kansas City Chiefs? Ian Rappaport of NFL Network put out a report earlier today stating that the Jets have now officially released the big name wide receiver Davante Adams. And this comes just a couple days after the Jets were taking calls on star wide receiver Davante Adams to potentially trade him. But of course, no one was interested at that massive $38.2 million cap hit. So he now gets released where he becomes a free agent, can sign with any team. And then Ian Rappaport followed up by saying, while the assumption has been that Davante Adams wants to play with Aaron Rodgers, and historically that's been the plan, my understanding is the pull of being on the West Coast is very real. So I've seen some stuff about Davante Adams, wanting to go play with Aaron Rodgers again, and I'll give my thoughts on that in a second. But first of all, I want to say this is a player that I've talked about on this channel that I expected to be released, and I've said that the Kansas City Chiefs should look into making a move like this to get, a relatively big name at wide receiver in free agency, spend your free agent dollars to make this offense explosive again. Because my thinking really since we've entered the offseason is most of the free agent dollars this offseason is going to go towards the offense, fixing the offense. But kind of what we've seen develop over the last few weeks is that left tackle is not going to be a position where the Chiefs spend a lot of money because there just aren't really any options out there, and nor are there any options that would require a big money contract, which means, the best thing that you can do if you can't get a left tackle is to, well, get better everywhere else where you can spend money. The defense doesn't need that much. You only need to tweak it a little bit here and there, and then you'll continue building the defense through the draft. And even Brett Veach said at the draft combine during a press conference that they see most of the talent on defense in this draft. So Chiefs are going to continue staying young and athletic on that side of the ball in the draft. Free agent dollars, offense, big name wide receiver, Davante Adams. That is a guy that I want to see the Kansas City Chiefs go after. Now, of course, he, I guess, wants to play with Aaron Rodgers, which, like Ian Rappaport said, has historically been the case. But my thing is, man, why do you want to follow Aaron Rodgers around? Did that season with the Jets not tell you anything? Did that not teach you anything that, hey, maybe I shouldn't, sign up to play with this guy anymore? Clearly his best days are behind him. Whatever team signs Aaron Rodgers is probably going to be a bad team desperate for good quarterback play. That's not going to be a situation you want to sign up for. Like at this point in Davante Adams' career, he's gotten paid. He's put up big numbers. He's played on bad teams. Why not sign up and play for a contender like the Kansas City Chiefs? Ian Rappaport also mentioned that the pull to the West Coast is real for Davante Adams, which is interesting to me. That only really leaves a few options. The Rams maybe, but I don't see really the need for a wide receiver there. The Chargers, that would make some sense, and they always have liked bigger wide receivers. That's what Davante Adams is, and he plays very big. San Francisco, I don't really think that's a position they want to spend more money on right now. So I don't know. We'll see. Money talks for sure. It's still going to require some money to bring Davante Adams in. Kind of what I was thinking is like for the Chiefs, the ideal scenario, because it would have to be for the right price. They're not bringing in Davante Adams, paying him $20 million per year. I don't think they're in it for that much. Maybe like a 2-year, $30 million deal, though, with some more incentives potentially to get more. That would pay him around $15 million per year. I mean, here's the thing. Here's the reality right now, guys. The Kansas City Chiefs are very cheap at wide receiver right now, which is a good thing for the, relatively speaking. They have Xavier Worthy in the fold. They have Rashee Rice in the fold. That's great. But while those guys are cheap, why not go ahead and put in a little bit of money to add one more big name weapon at that position and kind of, again, make your Sammy Watkins move of this era of Chiefs football, this kind of window of opportunity. That third guy in the offense that like really makes a difference when he's on the field. That's, I call it the Sammy Watkins move. When the Chiefs got Sammy Watkins, they already had Tyreek Hill, they already had Travis Kelsey. Sammy Watkins was that third guy that really, threatened defenses. The Chiefs offense was just different when he was on the field. I see Davante Adams in the same light, although, Davante Adams, I think, would be much better than Sammy Watkins and is much better than Sammy Watkins at this stage of his career. Davante Adams isn't necessarily in his prime anymore, but this is a guy that had 85 catches for over 1,000 yards and 8 touchdowns last year. Still playing at a really high level. I don't really think he's lost much of a step at all. And it's not like he'd come here to be a workhorse in the offense. He'd mix in with Rashee Rice and Xavier Worthy and maybe Hollywood Brown if you also bring him back on another 1-year deal. And some people may say, oh, it's a little bit of overkill. I don't think so. I think the Chiefs need to get explosive on offense again. A great way to do that would be to bring in Davante Adams, get Hollywood Brown back. Like, leave no doubt that your offense is going to be explosive next year. And I know Travis Kelsey's coming back, but I've talked about how you have to dial his snaps back a little bit. He's not a focal point of the offense anymore. Obviously, you'd rather have him than not, but like, we've seen the consequences the past couple of years of relying on Travis Kelsey in this offense. The Chiefs have won a lot of games over the past couple of years by the skin of their teeth. They've been mediocre on offense. Patrick Mahomes' average depth of target this year was one of the worst in the league among starting quarterbacks. I mean, guys, it is time to give Patrick Mahomes weapons again, to make this offense great again, to threaten downfield, score 30, 35 points a game, and finally, for once, the Kansas City Chiefs be really freaking good on both sides of the football. I promise it's allowed. A lot of Chiefs fans act as if that's not allowed. Oh, if they bring in Davante Adams, what about this or what about that? Guys, it'll get addressed. There's multiple needs on this team. But I'm saying that because we know the Chiefs need to spend free agent dollars on offense for the most part, why not go ahead and spend some of that money on a big name wide receiver? Also, because that there's not really a left tackle out there to be had in free agency. It's probably going to be DJ Humphries or Donovan Smith, maybe both, but those guys aren't going to require, big contracts. It's going to be a 1-year deal and then continue to develop what you already have. That's the best you can do right now. And if you can't get a left tackle, the best you can do is to get better elsewhere. Use this opportunity, use this offseason to get better at those other positions and solve another need before going into the draft. That way you don't go into the draft saying, okay, we have to get a receiver here because, we didn't really get anyone else. If the Chiefs grabbed Davante Adams and let's say brought back Hollywood Brown, I mean, your top 4 is set. You could maybe even re-sign Juju Smith-Schuster or draft a receiver. But you're not pigeonholed into drafting a receiver at all. I mean, that would be probably one of the best wide receiver rooms in the league. And it would give you some insurance knowing that Rashee Rice is probably going to miss some time, knowing that Xavier Worthy, is still only going into his second year and is a smaller guy, and you don't want to put, all the pressure on him in the regular season. I just think that the Chiefs should operate this offseason at the wide receiver position like they don't have that much. Like Rashee Rice is more of a luxury, coming off of injury and probably going to be suspended for a good chunk of next year. So those are my thoughts on how the Chiefs should approach the wide receiver position in free agency. I would love for them to add Davante Adams at the right price. I think he would make this offense really exciting next year. And man, when's the last time we could say this Chiefs offense was truly exciting to watch? It's been a while. So I want to see the Kansas City Chiefs get explosive. I want to see them try to make a splash move for a guy like Davante Adams to get faster, get better, threaten teams downfield on offense. So I want to hear from you guys, though. What are your thoughts on the Kansas City Chiefs potentially bringing in Davante Adams? Would you like it? Would you be opposed? Definitely let me know down below. Curious your guys' thoughts. All that being said, make sure you like, share, and subscribe. Some more Chiefs fans can find this. Make sure you check out my work on showmefootball.com. arrowheadaddict.com for more. Last but not least, follow me on Twitter at ShowMeFB. Once again, that's all I got for you guys in this one. I will see you all in the next one. And as always, go Chiefs.